A journey of two confused people. A journey of two confused people. Let me take you all back to a terrifying day. A day which I will never forget. This was the day when my legs were trembling, my voice cracked, and I forgot my name halfway through my speech. No, I'm not talking about my marriage. The feelings were same, but then I didn't have to give a speech that particular day. I'm talking about my first icebreaker speech. And there, like a guardian angel, sat one of my witness, or possibly a confused volunteer who was assigned a mentor, Toastmaster Rohit. Rohit was a veteran Toastmaster, somebody who was wise, experienced, and always 2 minutes late, just like Toastmaster Rohit. When take you further back to my story, so when I was assigned a mentor in the particular club, I thought I'll get somebody like Shah Rukh Khan of Chak De India movie, and he'll go like, "Ye 70 minutes, these 70 minutes." But what I got, in fact, was a cross between more like a TEDx junkie and a stand-up comic. And I was so interested that I went to him, Rohit, one day that, "Hey Rohit, glad that I have met you. You are my mentor. I want to learn a lot. So tell me, how should we start?" And Rohit went like, "Don't worry. This mentorship is a two-way street." I said, "Yeah, great. So you will speak and I will learn?" He said, "No. You will prepare a speech and I will listen." And I thought at that point in time, isn't mentorship supposed to be more than that? That you're supposed to teach me how to do, how to not to do, etc., etc. But Rohit said, "Nah, nothing doing. You prepare a speech and I will listen." And I sort of got confused as in what sort of a mentor was trying to me. But to Rohit's credit, he tried everything. So I said, "Okay, tell me what I have to do." He said, "Okay, why don't you do one thing? First thing that you should do is you should rehearse your speech and record it. So rehearse your speech multiple times." So I ended up rehearsing my speech like 12 times. And then post review, what I realized is every time it was worse than the earlier recorded speech. So I went back to Rohit. "Hey, Rohit, this is not working." He said, "Nah, don't worry. What you do is try the next panda. You stand in front of a mirror and then you give your speech." So I tried that as well. And after a period in time, my house help, she started thinking that Riya has gone cracked. This guy, gone case. So I went back to Rohit again. "Rohit, this is not working." He said, "Nah, you try something different." He called me to his home one day and then he said, "This is my dog, a pit bull." He said, "Speak to him." And I ended up delivering my speech to that dog. So the dog was initially like this. Over time, it started and then over a long period of time, what happened is it started barking at me that I had to run away from that pit bull. And with this nothing happening, I thought, "No, let me block my slot." I called up the VP Education, blocked my slot, and I said, "I am delivering my icebreaker." So I came to this stage and I felt that, okay, I have prepared something. I am ready. And at least I can deliver. So there I was in front of this audience, ready for my icebreaker speech. That's when my brain went 404, speech not found. And I was at this stage, and all of a sudden I realized that I was like more like a deer caught in a headlight, just staring at it. And I was more like an overdressed deer, just standing there, nothing to speak. And then, just like my guardian angel, Rohit from the crowd said, "Breathe." And so I did. And the audience felt that I am doing some performance art, which I was not. But I somehow fumbled, stumbled, tumbled my way through that speech. And as my speech completed, the audience gave me a standing ovation. And I was elated that maybe it is not that bad. But later I realized that in Toastmasters, everybody in the first speech gets a standing ovation. And I was surprised that when Rohit came to me after the speech and said that, "Buddy, well done, but let's discuss what went horribly wrong." And that's when I realized that maybe this is the mentor that I need. Rohit, from that time onwards, then divulged into what I did good. He appreciated the small wins. He said that good that you at least did not faint on the stage. Because the way you started, you could have fainted on the stage. And then he spoke about some growth areas as well. He said that, well, let's make it such that every time you're on the stage, don't experience this panic attack. I was not ready to hear those harsh words, but he actually guided me that how to avoid such panic attacks by more practice, etc., etc. Over a period in time, I realized that being a prodigy to a mentor is not about getting the perfect advice. It's about finding someone who has actually walked that path, stumbled during that particular path, but has still learned and always believes in you and says that you, Rajdeep, have got it. That's the mentor that you ideally seek. And that's the prodigy that you should be. I've also realized that during all this cycle, mentor-mentee relationship is more like a tandem bicycle. How many of you know what a tandem bicycle is? Tandem bicycle, right? So for people's knowledge, tandem bicycle is a bicycle wherein one guy will, rotate the wheels, the other guy steers it. So there are two seats basically. The other guy steers it. Mentor-mentee relationship is like that. You could be sitting on either of the seats, or mentee could be sitting on the other one, and it may happen that you would end up in the bushes together, or probably in front of Noida Sector 62, we are Window Bhavan in the bushes there. Somewhere you may end up in the bushes, but it's about not that perfection, but trying to learn from that feedback loop. Over a period in time, as I reflect back to that particular period of 2-3 years that I was with my particular mentor, I realized that mentorship isn't about perfection. It's about always finding that sweet spot of how we can move away from that idea of perfection and move into an area where you can take your feedback and, more importantly, find somebody who believes in you more than you believe in yourself. That's what a mentor-mentee relationship ideally is about. So to all the mentors out there, thank you for your patience. And to all the prodigies out there, you are in safe hands, believe me. And next time, when you are on the journey to find your Rohit, always ask him this, that these 3 things I don't want to do. Over to Toastmasters.